Alright, hey, it's Miss Gardner. We're going to do a little bit of notes over the Pythagorean Theorem. In this video, it's just going to be three examples where we're finding the length of the hypotenuse. So here we go. First example. We have a right triangle with a side of 15 and 20, and we want the hypotenuse. So I know x is the hypotenuse because it's the diagonal, it's slanted, it's across from the right angle. So let's say 15 is A, 20 is B, and we need to find C. So I'm going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared, my Pythagorean theorem, and I'm going to try to find C. So if a is 15, I have 15 squared, then b is 20 plus 20 squared, and that's going to be equal to C. 15 squared is 225, 20 squared is 400, and that's going to equal to C squared. So when I add 225 plus 400, I get 625. That is equal to C squared. We want to find C. So 625 would represent the area. Remember when we talked about the area of the squares in class? So in order to find C, I need to take the square root of both sides. So if I take the square root of C squared, I get C. And if I take the square root of 625, I get 25. So this side length right here would be 25. 25 is bigger than 20, and 25 is bigger than 15, so I know that's a correct answer. Let's go to the next one. Find x, the hypotenuse. This is A, this is B, we want to find C, and we know it's the hypotenuse because it's the slanted or diagonal side. It is right across from the right angle. So if I did A squared plus B squared equals C squared, then I know A would be 18 squared, B is 24 squared, and that would have to equal C squared, whatever this number is going to be. So if I did 18 squared, I would get 324. If I did 24 squared, 24 times 24, I would get 576. And that's going to, these two areas added together are going to be the area of the hypotenuse. So I'm going to add 324 plus 576, and I get 900. So 900 is equal to C squared. So 900 would be the area. So we're thinking, what number times itself gives me 900? So we're going to take the square root, and the square root of 900 would be 30. So this has to be 30. 30 is larger than 24, 30 is larger than 18. I know I did it right, and there we go. Example 1 and 2 came out with some nice, easy whole numbers. Let's do an example where it may not always happen like that. So here we have a right triangle, and we have two legs, one is 8 and one is 12, and they want us to find the hypotenuse. And we know the legs are 8 and 12 because they come together and make the L the right angle. So our hypotenuse has to be more than 8, more than 12. And we just need to know, what is that? Let's not have two A's, let's have an A and a B, Miss Gardner. Okay, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A is 8, 8 squared, B is 12, plus 12 squared equals C squared. So 8 squared would be 64, 12 squared is 144, and we need to figure out together what would that be. That would be 208. So 208 is equal to C squared. So now 208 is the area. So we need to figure out what number times itself gives me 208. So we do the square root. So we're going to do the square root of 208. Now, that could be an answer choice, the square root of 208. They could just leave it nice and pretty for you, especially if you don't have a calculator. Square root of 208, and that could be a correct answer. Or you could take your calculator and actually do the square root of 208, and you get 14.42222051, and then the calculator runs out of space. We're going to do to 3 decimal places, so 422 thousandths, and always round to 2 because, you know, when you take a test, your gradable has 2 decimal places. So you're going to round to the nearest hundredth. I look at that 2. That 2 is not going to make that 2 go up. It's going to stay the same. So this would be your hypotenuse. 14 and 42 hundredths is bigger than 12, and it's bigger than 8. So that's just a quick video, and we'll be working on it more in class.